Morning, everyone. It's 9 in the morning here in Palawan, the GK home. I'm staying with the GK family here, together with Hava and Chet. And let me just give you a quick tour of the place. Here's the sitting down. We'll go for a 360 turn. There's the window. It's the front window. This is the front door. As you go out, I'll show you some of the GK homes that are there. You can see them. You can see all of that. Beautiful homes. I won't go too far. But this is the home of our beneficiary, Kapit Bahaya. There they are. It's the restroom over here. That one over there is the restroom. This one here is the bedroom. That's where we're staying over here. Just take you in quickly. There we go. They're sleeping. Rest. So, here in Palawan right now, and continuing my update to all of you. And yesterday was a difficult day for Hava, especially. She's never experienced sleeping on the floor before. As you can see, there's no bed. When I showed you, there's no bed. It's just a cement floor that's over here, and I have just a very thin piece of mattress. Yeah, well, not mattress, but it's a banig they call it, which is a straw mat. And Hava was staying in there, and she was really finding it very uncomfortable. But she doesn't really sleep on the floor. Hava usually sleeps on a very thin piece of like rubber. That you might find different letters written all over it. Those children's mats. So it's still quite soft. It's like almost like a little bit thicker than a yoga mat. So and she would sleep on that. She would stay on the floor and go for a siesta. But yesterday she was on the floor and just finding it very difficult to get comfortable, and she would be crying and carrying on, and we'd do whatever we could to try and make it easier for her. Hope you can hear me, by the way, so I'll speak a little bit louder. She would do whatever she could to try and get comfortable, but there wasn't any way that she can get comfortable. So and when Hava would get stressed, Mama would get stressed, and when Mama would get stressed, Papa stressed. So as a family, we're just finding it difficult to really adjust, and but it made me reflect on the life that the poor go through, because these people here living at the GK site, the beneficiaries, they are already recipients, so that means their poverty has been elevated. They're no longer living in very very desperate conditions anymore. But it made me yet looking at the way they live, despite Gawad Kalinga, it's still a very simple life. It's still a very difficult life. It's not an easy life by any measure, and that's why I have so much respect for these people and for these families that really make do with so little. Sleeping on the floor is a common thing. Very few of them would even have enough money to even buy a mat. Some of them still have jobs. The beneficiary that we're staying with works in the palenque, so they have jobs and steady income, but just enough for food. They already have a house, so it's also enough to feed. I was interviewing Joy yesterday. Again, I'll introduce her to you later, as I want to interview her. But I was interviewing her. I was talking with her yesterday, and she was sharing with me the difficulties people go through, particularly with hunger. There's some people who really die because they don't have anything to eat. And she would share with me that they would sniff rugby, which is like a glue to to fix shoes or whatever. And they would sniff it, and of course it would make them high, but it's also cheaper than rice. It's about 5 pesos, so people would beg in the streets in order to just be able to get their rugby for the day. That's what they look forward to. Such a these children as young as 5, 6 years old roaming the streets just to get enough 5 pesos, enough just for rugby. So they're just that's why they beg. Um, so it's an incredibly difficult life. Yeah, when you're poor, and we're not even experiencing what we experienced yesterday wasn't even the the difficult part, because I can just imagine what it must be like for those who are still poor, for those who still don't have the capacity to come out of poverty, to rise from poverty, those people who we still have to reach out to. Joy was sharing with me that a lot of them were also, um, you know, uh, so hungry still, and many of them don't even eat for, sometimes 3, 4 days. And I just can't imagine, how you feel when you skip a meal. You feel like your head's gonna explode. You feel so lightheaded. You feel so dizzy. You feel so lazy. You feel out of touch. That feeling when you just missed one meal. Imagine missing 3 meals. Imagine missing, uh, not eating for a day or for 2 days. Imagine that's like times 8. That dizziness, that kind of warped. You feel you're like you're out of yourself.